Hey everyone.
Hello, hello. What is going on out there, internet land?
Not a whole lot. Let me get over here to the channel on YouTube.
How are you doing, Mr. John?
Doing pretty good. I'm doing pretty good overall. I think I might be getting my wheelchair sometime by next year. Yeah.
Woo! It has
Going at
been a
such a great
long
rate
journey.
here.
Yeah. Well, you've been fighting for like 10 years, so
Yeah, hey, what the heck?
at least we're at the end of that journey. Well, hopefully.
Yes. Well, hopefully, yeah.
Chris and I got to have a huge conversation before you jumped on. So Chris and I were hanging out backstage. Did you check out his funky fresh haircut for the boy wonder?
Nice. Yeah. Thank you for showing it. Yeah, nice. I saw he showed a picture of it on his Facebook, and I clicked liking it. I clicked it because I liked it. I'm like, nice look.
Yeah,
Very cool, man. Very cool.
I need to get mine. I'm always wearing a cap.
I don't have enough hair to do that with.
Well, my friends, we are in the spooky month. Happy Halloween month. And this month we are talking about bones in general.
Bones?
But what are we talking about specifically tonight,
bones.
Sir?
Rickets.
We are talking about rickets. That is correct.
He won't stay standing up. Don't know why.
Did you know what rickets was before we did this?
No, not really. I thought it was something associated like with gout or something, but it's not associated with gout. So I have heard of them.
Right. I feel like in fact one of the videos the news lady says, like, she was like, it's something that we think about as being an old time disease.
Yeah.
Something that was a while ago, but it's still exists.
Yeah.
So rickets is something like, when we were talking about topics, I felt like I was like, haven't I heard of rickets in cartoons or something like that?
Yes.
When I went to do the media research on it, I could not. I just crapped out all over the place, man. I could not find any interesting media on it. But luckily enough, our fantastic other host, who is not going to be with us tonight, she does all of the medical videos and found a bunch of good stuff for us. So
yeah, she did.
We definitely have tons of good information. The other thing too, I was surprised about was that when I saw what rickets was, we always called it something else, but I didn't know it had, obviously we called it bow-legged.
Yes, that's what we referred. Somebody that might have rickets, bow-legged. Yes, I knew people that were bow-legged growing up and stuff.
Exactly, and
it's never associated it with rickets.
Right. Well, I didn't know what rickets was, so I I had an excuse on that one. Well, before we go too much further, let's pull out the definition here.
Okay.
Let's see.
And hey, you want to read this one since you can now see it?
Well, I still have to. Let's
see.
Okay. A disease of children caused by vitamin D deficiency, characterized by imperfect calcification, smoothing, and distortion of the bones, typically resulting in bowed legs.
Softening of the bones is what you called smoothing. So,
yeah. See,
did pretty good there.
Trying to get used to my new eyeballs.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was happy to see that you got new glasses. That's awesome.
Yes. I was just happy to see. Yeah.
So childhood. So I didn't know that rickets was something primarily associated with childhood. I thought it could happen at any time, really. I guess it can, but
right. Well, and that's what one of the videos goes over that and lets us know that in later ages it would be something else.
Yes.
What is up, Alex?
Hey, Alex.
Good evening, guys. What's up, Daddy? What's up, Daddy-O?
Daddy-O. I love that.
Thank you for tuning in with us. We are talking about rickets this
week.
Rickety. Yeah, so it's a deficiency of vitamin D, which, I guess that's why, you would think in this day and age, there's vitamin D in milk, right? And everybody drinks
milk. It's fortified in a lot of the foods that we eat and stuff. So that way, it helps prevent. We have so many things that are vitamin fortified, mineral fortified. And Robert, hi Robert, it's nice to meet you, sir.
And Robert,
We
yeah,
no
that's
longer have the boy wonder here.
I think he meant Robin, or maybe he meant Robert Pattinson, the latest Batman.
There you go. That's cute.
That's so funny. Your fan base called you a completely different name. All right.
Great. I like that.
Anyways,
That was fun.
So it's a deficiency of vitamin D.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's dive right into one of these videos because
Alex had a really good question there. What is it? I've never heard of it before, and so this will be a perfect time to do that.
Exactly. So let me queue up some of these videos here. Here we go. Let's get into it.
So this is an x-ray of a patient with florid rickets.
Rickets. For Dr. Leanne Ward, it's a problem she can't believe she's still seeing in 2015.
We think of rickets as an ancient phenomenon.
It's a potentially catastrophic condition in children. It happens when their body can't absorb enough calcium.
They can have fractures, they can have problems with their teeth, their face and skull can be deformed. Infants will show up in the emergency room with hypocalcemia, so low calcium levels in the blood, causing seizures. So the presentation can really be quite dramatic.
Rickets is completely preventable. All it takes is a small amount of vitamin D. That's why dairy products have been fortified for almost a century. And pediatricians have long advised giving newborns vitamin D.
So we need supplementation, particularly in the first year of life when infants are rapidly accruing bone and have very high calcium needs.
Because it's so easy to prevent rickets, most assume it's a disease of the past. So the fact that doctors are still seeing it, especially among children in Canada's northern communities, is a sign of a larger problem. Dr. Claudette Chase was amazed when she saw her first case in a remote First Nations community in northern Ontario.
I said rickets, and the child, in fact, had an extremely low vitamin D level.
Although the prevention is straightforward, just vitamin D supplements or fortified food, the solution is not simple because many northern families lack access to proper nutrition and health care.
Well, I think the solution would be for us to no longer tolerate this culture of poverty that we see in Canada's north, which is where most of these cases occur, and to have people have stable housing, stable water, stable nutrition, and then we probably wouldn't see this.
Back in Ottawa, Dr. Ward says she's now seeing cases in children who are new to Canada, where it's difficult to get enough vitamin D from the sun. And she's launching a survey of other Canadian pediatricians to find out how often they're seeing rickets in their practices. Kelly Crow, CBC News, Toronto.
I mean, Canada. You think Canada's a first world nation. They are really modernized and stuff. And yet you got areas in it, like in the United States, that are basically third world or even sometimes worse.
Right. Every developed country has kind of that area.
Yes.
So yeah, that what caught me off guard about that is they were saying that they were seeing a bigger density. It got me thinking about, because they were saying that they don't get as much sun up there as we do, but it got me thinking about God, what is that place that like 6 months out of the year it's like nighttime?
Oh, like Alaska and stuff like that.
Right,
and
somewhere it's like one of the most northern places.
Northern lights happen. Yeah.
Right. It got me thinking about, wow, I never really thought about how, they must need to take vitamin D supplements or get their vitamin D from some other source.
Yeah, you often don't think the sun, when you're out in it and stuff, it's doing much other than maybe possibly burning your skin.
Right.
And it's actually helping your body create vitamin D. And the sun, it's almost like we're photosynthesizing almost, and we're creating this in our body because of the sunlight.
Right.
It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
the way the body and everything works, it's just incredible.
The body is a machine, my friend.
Yes, it is.
it is amazing how it everything just goes together. But the challenge is when one thing shuts down, sometimes it shuts down entire systems.
Oh yeah.
So the other thought I was thinking, you and I are about the same age. Chris, our boy Wonder, our good friend Boy Wonder, is significantly younger
he's
than
a young man. 24.
Well, you're right, exactly right.
He's just a baby.
I'm thinking. I was trying to think back when I was in school. I think I knew one or two, because that's why you knew the term bow-legged, right?
Yes.
Right. But now that I think about it, like, thinking about my son's 14 now, but, especially when he was younger in, third grade and fourth grade, I'd take him to school a lot, and I, volunteered. And I don't remember seeing children that were bow-legged. Not that there was, when we were growing up, they were all over the place.
No.
But I think I can remember one or two children in my life that were distinctly, looked like they had been riding horses.
Yes.
But now I can't really think of any child I've ever known like that.
No, it's not been I've not noticed that when I think about that either, since maybe my late teens and on.
Right.
I mean, it's something that, for the most part, has been taken care of by simply supplements.
Right. It makes you think about some of the difference in maybe, American food versus, food that they have in Canada. And they were also saying that it was a very impoverished area as well.
Yes. So very poor, low access to, various different things like grocery stores, I'm going to guess.
I wonder if Canada has like a WIC system. You remember what WIC was, right?
Yes, I do. I do.
I know you've been out of Cali for a while. What's up?
What is that?
WIC is for in California. Is it welfare of infant and children or something?
Yes,
like
it's
that?
for children and infants and stuff.
Right. So especially when you have a newborn baby, and especially if you're low income, they give you like coupons that you can use to get cereal and bread and certain types of food, milk.
And it's all geared.
What is
Yeah, WIC is specifically though for little baby, infant and
toddlers, food stamps and welfare
up until like 5 and 6. Yeah,
a little different than that. Yeah,
with food stamps you can buy pretty much whatever at any store, but with WIC you have almost like coupons to buy specific kind of products. Right. So that good question, Chris.
Yes, good question.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, hey, it's all good. If we don't ask, we don't know. So yeah, I can't recall any child that my son has ever gone to school with that I looked at and was like, oh wow, that child, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's something that we pretty much maybe have kind of handled it. I don't want to ever say eradicated.
No,
obviously, just like that lady said in that news report, they had thought that it was pretty much an ancient, disease. But
yeah, back medieval times, whatnot, and all that. But
here they are. Let's roll. This next one's a two-parter. Oh, and one of the things that they touched on that I know that there's a video for it later down here is there's the beginning of life version where you're not getting enough vitamin D and you have weak bone density, which is what we're talking about, rickets now. But the opposite end for old people, often hear about is osteoporosis.
Yes.
So so think of it kind of like, as a very, it's pretty much the same thing, just on opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yes.
And pretty much, I'm sure a lot of people have heard of osteoporosis, maybe on a TV show or in a commercial or.
Yeah. In our orthopedics clinic, we had 2 or 3 machines to help scan people. So that way we can We can check for the bone density and all of these other important things about bones and stuff. And osteoporosis was one of our big ones for the, I would say, ages our age and up was primarily where people started. There were people that were younger, like Chris's age here, Boy Wonder's age, that would come in that would be having the problem, but that was because of something like something else
was going on.
yeah, that's not working properly to get them all their vitamins that they need. So they would come in and get checked regularly and stuff like that to make sure that things weren't going south.
Wow. Okay. Well, we're gonna go on. We got this is a two-parter here. So the first part is like 2 minutes, and the second part is like 2:30. So here we go.
So this is an X-ray of a patient with florid rickets.
Rickets. For Dr. Leanne Ward, it's a problem she can't believe she's still seeing.
And begins in childhood, typically between the ages of 3 and 18 months. If left untreated, rickets can lead to seizures, dental defects, failure to grow, or skeletal deformities. Causes. The most common cause of rickets is vitamin D deficiency, which is essential for strong and healthy bone development. Sources of vitamin D include sunlight. Sunlight, especially ultraviolet light. The skin produces vitamin D when exposed to sunlight, and we get most of our vitamin D this way. Children who spend fewer times outdoors or who use sunscreen, which blocks the rays that trigger the skin's production, are more likely to develop rickets. Food. Eggs, fish oils, some fortified breakfast cereals contain vitamin D. Maternal vitamin D deficiencies during pregnancy cause congenital rickets. This is due to a vitamin D deficiency in the mother's blood, which the baby shares. Other maternal diseases that can cause congenital rickets are untreated celiac disease, severe osteomalacia, which is the adult form of rickets, malabsorption, genetic disorders causing soft bone in infants, such as hypophosphatemia, is a rare genetic disorder that causes abnormal development of bone and teeth. These abnormalities occur due to defective mineralization, the process by which bones and teeth take up minerals such as calcium or phosphate. Hypophosphatemia, which is a rare disorder caused by chronically low level of phosphate in the blood, caused by a genetic fault that prevents the kidneys from processing phosphates properly. Some kidney, liver, and intestinal disease can affect the way the body absorbs vitamin D. Factors that increase the risk of rickets may include premature birth, dark skin, breastfed infants who are exposed to little or no sunlight, or whose mothers are not exposed to sunlight, any child whose diet does not contain vitamin D or calcium, exclusive breastfeeding without supplementation. Symptoms: delayed growth and short stature, muscle weakness, skeletal deformities such as bowed legs or knock knees, protruding breastbone, curved spine, or thickened wrist or ankles, teeth deformities such as delayed tooth formation, abscesses, defects in the tooth structure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Alex, always feel free to just ask the question down in the box unless it's something that needs to be offline, and you can ask us there. But the thing that caught me off guard on that was they said one of the things that not could lead to it but don't help was dark skin.
Yes.
That I find that I thought dark skin would be good because dark would absorb more sunlight, right?
You
Isn't
think
that
so?
what it is? White reflects and dark
it's
absorbs.
melatonin though in the skin that doesn't react the same, or I think it's melatonin, or something like that. That doesn't react the same way as lighter skin does with the sunlight. So the lighter skin has more chance to create vitamin D in that reaction. It's almost like photosynthesis.
You're right.
Whereas the darker the skin, it does that less. Because darker skin can still tan and burn and stuff, but it takes a little bit more intensity or longer time in the sun for that to happen.
Wow. Okay. So, very, very interesting. It got me also to thinking, about like, God, how brittle their teeth must be. Like, just biting into something, I'm sure they can fracture teeth and break teeth and
This whole thing about rickets makes me think of people over in England with their teeth and how they are sometimes very thin, or their bone structure seems to be very brittle or come across as frail, like sometimes.
Right.
You know, not all people over there, but I've seen some examples of people from over there that you see more than you see here, with like the teeth that are very just having a hard
Well,
time.
it's funny that you say that, because then, right, England is associated for being cloudy all the time.
Yes.
So not getting enough sun. And then also when I think about it, like, I can't pinpoint where in my childhood I would have heard Rickets, but it seemed to me almost like pirate movies.
Yes. Kind of like cartoons, and he'd have that
Like a
clanky
Bugs
sound,
Bunny
like,
cartoon or something.
yeah, oh, got rickets, and they'd be like shaking and having a hard time, or the bow leg.
I
I'm sorry, I missed that, Boy Wonder. Put that one in the chat, and we'll read that one out. So yeah, so you saying you associating with maybe like British people, like, doesn't sound too far off from what I was thinking, because like I said, I associated it with like pirates in the high sea,
Yes.
and so
Like
that
Scooby Doo. Thank you. Yes. Like Shaggy. When you think of Shaggy, how thin he is, and he gets scared. He starts. I think rickets, and I think of making this.
wait, but a minute.
I mean, he does have kind of the bow legs, doesn't he?
Yeah.
But yeah. So Alex over here has a question.
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and read that question? I couldn't.
He says, "Is vitamin D actually for you from the sun?" Is what my grandfather always told me. Yes, you basically, when the sunlight hits your skin, the infrared part of it causes your skin and your body to react to create vitamin D itself. And that's probably one of the easiest ways that we could get it without having to purchase it. We just go outside and be in the sun for a while. You don't need to be out there to where you're burnt or you're tan or anything. You can be out there 10, 20, 30 minutes. And before you know it, you're getting enough vitamin D for the day.
Right. And there's a lot of foods that we have vitamin D additives.
Me go a while or go but why
That's why what?
You go walk.
You're right.
Yeah, you take a walk. You're in the sun. Yep.
Good exercise. There's lots of benefits.
Yes.
All right, let's watch the second half of that video.
Okay.
So this is an x-ray of a patient with florid rickets.
Rickets. For Dr. Leanne Ward.
Diagnosis and treatment. The doctor may be able to diagnose rickets by performing a physical examination. The doctor will gently press on the child's bones, checking for deformities. The doctor will pay close attention to the child's skull, legs, chest, wrists, and ankles. To help with diagnosis, the doctor may order blood and urine tests to measure the level of calcium and phosphate in the blood, and also bone x-ray to reveal bone deformities. Treatment. The aim of treatment is to replace the missing vitamin or mineral in the body, which will eliminate most of the symptoms associated with rickets. For children with vitamin D deficiency, the doctor may suggest increased exposure to sunlight, as well as consuming food products high in vitamin D, such as fish, milk, and eggs. Calcium and vitamin D supplements may also be used in treating rickets. For genetic disorders, a combination of phosphate supplements and high levels of a special form of vitamin D are required. If skeletal deformities are present, the child may need special bracing that helps position their bones correctly as they grow. In severe cases, the child may need corrective surgery.
So one of the kids I knew that I was growing up with had corrective bracing on to help correct the bones bowing out like that. So when I think of somebody now, I think back then, I'm like, wow, they had rickets. Okay.
You know what I just thought of, and I don't 100% know. I'm going to have to go back and watch it. Now I'm like punching myself for popular media. What's a popular movie we know of a little boy with leg braces?
That was Forrest Gump, of course.
Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, I'm so mad at myself. One of the
Run,
I
run.
went
I'm sorry, I missed that Boy Wonder.
I went
Oh, you wear braces too? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know it's a common thing. It's for, especially when you have, bone issues to help.
Yeah.
And especially since you deal with CP.
Boy Wonder is part bionic, man.
I will but I like yeah.
No. So yes, Forrest Gump. I need to look into that, but Forrest Gump may be another a piece of media that would have been obvious that I somehow missed.
It's okay.
I didn't even think about that until you brought up the leg braces.
But people with cerebral palsy and other conditions can also need, like, if you got drop foot where your foot drops and you trip over your own self, they got to wear special braces to keep their feet from tripping them, because that's a freaking annoyance.
Right.
And very dangerous.
Right. When I was looking up the facts about this, it did say it was very rare, especially in the United States. But it did take a diagnosis, usually with X-rays, and obviously by a professional. So, and then when the doctor was saying that they checked the different parts, I was thinking, oh man, it was some of the ankles, the wrists, the chest. And I was like, oh wow, those are, I guess, where would be really fragile points in your body, like where things are coming together.
Well, wrist might be a little bit thicker than somebody at the age that they are typically, so they can measure that and get an idea. Okay, this wrist is a little thicker, bigger than it should be. Along the ankles might be thinner, that type of thing going on, rather than not so much brittle, but trying to get an idea of just the overall typical size and measurements for these areas on the person's body to kind of get a rough idea. Do I then take it to the next step? Blood tests.
Right. All right, so there's two more videos, and tonight is probably going to be a little bit shorter than a lot of episodes. But this one's kind of interesting because it talks about what we were talking about with osteoporosis as well, and so it shows the similarities. So
what do you know about rickets and osteomalacia? Rickets and osteomalacia are caused due to the inadequate mineralization of the bones. Our skeletal system contains 98% of the calcium, hence calcium metabolism has a major influence on the structure and growth of the bones. What are rickets? The mineralization of bones is defective. The rickets caused by nutritional deficiency is called nutritional rickets. It is due to vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D is associated with calcium absorption and deposition. Lack of calcium and vitamin D causes softening of bones, pliable deformity. In children, the symptoms of rickets are bowed legs, knocked knees, pigeon chest, broadening of wrist and ankles. The primary prevention of the rickets in the child begins by providing better nutrients to the pregnant mother, followed by the supply of vitamin D. Cod and shark liver oil are good sources of vitamin D. Osteomalacia. In adults, vitamin D and calcium deficiency leads to osteomalacia. This is characterized by bone pain and tenderness. It causes brittleness in the bones.
Wow, okay, so I got osteoporosis wrong. Um, wow. So my big takeaway. Hold on. I have a question. I'm trying to see catch up. My question then is they were talking about being able to give the mother better nutrition while the child is in uterus. So does that mean that they can detect it
Yes,
early?
yes, they
While
can. They have tests.
wow. So well that's great. Okay, so it's something that they can detect while the child is still in the bed, and they can start giving the mother better
Prenatal
nutrition.
vitamins and things like that.
Right. Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense. All right, we got one more video here, and it is about vitamin D and vitamin D deficiency. So here we go.
Do you know that every 1 in 3 people have vitamin D deficiency? So now you may think why this information is important. Well, this is because vitamin D is an essential nutrient for our body which is necessary for bone formation, muscle contraction, and to maintain a healthy immune function. So it is very important to know signs and symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. So let's see how you can identify that you have vitamin D deficiency. Vitamin D helps in fighting off infections as it is directly involved in supporting immune cells. So when there is deficiency of vitamin D, your immunity decreases and you start falling ill frequently. You may catch flu and cold-like symptoms very often. And this can certainly be a sign that your vitamin D levels are low. You can feel tired due to many causes, and one of it can be vitamin D deficiency. According to few studies, fatigue and tiredness were attributed mainly to vitamin D deficiency. Fatigue and tiredness can be due to many other reasons. So if you're feeling tired from long time, then watch out for other symptoms as well. Vitamin D helps to strengthen and maintain bone health by absorbing calcium. So when there is low level of vitamin D, there is less absorption of calcium, which may lead to series of events that may ultimately cause bone and back pain. Some studies have linked low levels of vitamin D to depression, especially in older people. But still more research is needed to understand this relation. Slow wound healing after surgery or injury may be a sign that your vitamin D levels are too low. As vitamin D plays an important role in controlling the swelling and addressing the infection for proper wound healing. Vitamin D is necessary for calcium absorption from our gut, and calcium is necessary for bone formation. So if there is not enough vitamin D available in our body, it will reduce the calcium absorption, which can then compromise our bone density and bone strength. So if the deficiency occurs in childhood, it can cause rickets, and in older individual, the bone becomes soft, and this condition is called osteomalacia. Vitamin D deficiency is also responsible for osteoporosis, in which the density of your bone is significantly reduced and your bone can easily be fractured by simply falling on the ground. Now we all know that stress is a common cause of hair loss, but even disease or nutrient deficiency can cause severe hair loss. But very often hair loss in women is linked to low level of vitamin D. The causes of muscle pain are often difficult to pinpoint, but many studies have revealed that vitamin D deficiency is a potential cause of muscle pain. Vitamin D helps nerve to carry messages between the brain and body. Therefore, this vitamin is also involved in your body's pain signaling pathways, which may play an important role in chronic pain. Low vitamin D is linked with both belly fat and increased weight. This effect is more prominently seen in men. Vitamin D is not believed to affect anxiety directly, although there are some correlations of vitamin D deficiency which is linked to anxiety and depression. So these are the signs and symptoms of vitamin D deficiency.
Does. Hey, Kat.
Hello, Mr. Cuddles. Yeah, so wow, there was a lot that was going on with that.
Yes.
Vitamin D, they were talking about what? Because he's a black cat. Sorry, let me get to this comment over here.
No problem.
I can't see what
Well,
it is.
I love that movie, Forrest Gump.
Oh yeah, Forrest Gump was an incredible movie.
It was.
I know.
Hmm?
I know.
I'm sorry. Did you get that, John?
Not all the way. I think he said I never saw it.
Yeah.
Okay, I did hear you.
Oh, all right. I totally lost my train of thought. The last video I was trying to think of the what they were talking about with the vitamin D. So if you're getting it enough nutritionally, then you, even if you're not, I wonder if you weren't getting enough sun, could you take vitamin D just by like your food and get enough?
Yes, you can. Or you can even take like a vitamin D pill, supplement to help you with that. Yes, you can do that to make up for it.
Ah, okay.
You can get infrared lamps too that help put infrared on your skin so that you're artificially recreating it. Now, these would be analog, meaning non-digital light, so the infrared heat would be felt a little bit like a warming lamp almost.
Right.
But that would create sort of the vitamin D reaction that the sun does.
Huh.
It's the infrared frequency that does that.
Interesting. Huh. I remember when my mom was I still don't even know if it was like a scam or if it was really, a good thing, but my mom spent a lot of money. It wasn't covered by insurance to go to a special neuropathist because she dealt with neuropathy in her hands and her feet. And a lot of it had to do with lifestyle changes, but once a week they would give her like a massage in the special chair for a half hour. And then they put these leg wraps on that were supposedly infrared light that I guess said would heal your tissue, heal your cells, your dead cells.
I don't know how it would heal the cells, but I could see it definitely, the infrared part, helping generate vitamin D that would then in turn create other chemical reactions in your body that could help. But to say that, oh, this helps heal, that's kind of a big claim.
Right. Because they said vitamin D. Oh, that's the other thing they said. Vitamin D helps with like when we have infections, it helps with our immunity system, and it helps keep swelling down. I was thinking when they were saying that one of the signs of vitamin D deficiency is slow wounds healing slowly, and I was like, oh my god, that's like Wolverine's X Factor.
There you go.
He's just, right, or Deadpool. He's just got really good vitamin D.
There you go.
Yeah. So again, I don't know. I feel like we pretty much covered this one. I don't know if there's a lot more that I can add to this. What are your thoughts, John?
No, not without repeating a whole lot of stuff. I mean, those videos were very explanatory. They very clear and understandable. So, I mean, other than repeating things, and what is the potential cure in this is to basically make sure you get your proper vitamins. If you're not getting this, see a professional, a medical professional. If you're not, or a nutritionist, if you're not feeling like you're getting this sort of stuff.
Right,
and
right.
see what you need to get to supplement or do
braces or injections or I'm having trouble with that because if you want to catch it in the chat, we can unless you caught that, John.
Nope. Sorry about that.
So this whole month we are going to be talking about the bones in your body.
Bones.
So next week, we have not chosen. We've not figured out what we're doing next week, but it'll have something to do with the bones, and we will be at episode 46.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much it. Was that
what up?
The big 5-0. Yeah, we're getting close. We're 5 episodes. Dang. We'll have to do something special.
Should we give away lights?
We just gave one away on Sunday show. Oh, if you did
That's right.
not
I
tune
gotta
in,
watch that. I gotta watch that. See what
oh,
the lightsaber looked like. I saw the
Sunday
post,
show.
and I'm like, oh, I gotta watch this.
Sunday show was absolutely phenomenal. I think it was one of the highest viewer counts we've ever had on any
Nice.
show. Yeah, and it's been shared a lot since then. So
That's
it was,
excellent.
it definitely tells me it's something people were wanting to see, and we'll try to figure out how to give people what they want. So
That's
if
awesome.
you are new to the channel, please like, subscribe. You would not believe how much putting a little like on the show helps out a lot. It helps gets us out into the algorithm. Please subscribe to the channel. You can even hit that little bell to let you know when we have shows on. But I just want to warn you, we put shows on 7 days a week, so we're not
They do.
we're not like a lot of
That bell never stops ringing on my end.
Ding, 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 ding. And guess what? We got nothing but new shows coming at you as well. We Miss Captain Aubrey has a new show coming out, and Anthony and I are working on a show right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm very excited. It'll be back to 3 nights a week. And that's just me. We got so many other hosts on here. And by the way, I do want to thank everybody. We have just recently hit 1,500 subscribers. I want to thank all of our hosts, John and the Boy Wonder, of course, the Captain. I want to thank all the hosts that helped us make it to this 1,500, and hopefully we add another million on top of that.
Yeah. There you go.
All right. Yeah, I just want the dream, man. I just want us all to be able to just do videos for a living.
That'd be cool. That'd be very cool.
All right, so I think that's about it for me. What do you guys say?
Wraps it up for me then.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. We will see you next week. Thank you for tuning in to Hearts of Kyber. Peace.